pronounce. Numbers climbing across the bottom. The volume stayed low, dinner stayed warm. The dog slept through all of it. I felt far away. That's the truth. Everything is far away until somebody says a name you know. Name you know. You left in April, set photos in June. A parking lot, a cup of coffee, a crooked sunset behind concrete walls. Nothing looked like the news. Nothing looked important. Just a guy I grew up with standing somewhere else, trying to look alright. Everything is far away until somebody says a name you know. Meanwhile, your mother sat by the phone. The reporter stood in front of a building with broken windows. Said the situation was developing, said more details would follow. Said several families had been notified. Then he read the names. The room got smaller, the television got louder. Nobody touched their phone. Until somebody says a name you know. Then the map isn't a map anymore. Then the numbers aren't numbers anymore. Then the story finds your address. Channel 8 moved on by Friday. Different story. Different crisis, different graphics. Your picture stayed on the refrigerator door. That's where the news ended, and everything else began. To steal, faith and fear both rot and kneel. The temple burns inside my chest. No saints survive this endless test. I kissed the light, it turned to stone, and left my soul to walk alone. Tell me where the righteous go when heaven hides and mercy won't show. Decides our fate when both salvation damnation way. Heaven, I saw you fall like rain, burning down in sacred flame. Hell was never underground, it lives where holy hearts are bound. We are the Satan, the broken ones, brain to dead and distant sun. No crown above, no throne below, just ashes where the truth won't grow. Silence in the void, and Satan wears a holy voice. Then what am I beneath this skin? A war that no one ever went for. Shade of blue, it cracked like glass above the truth. Rivers rising in reverse, spilling time into a curse. The sun collapsed without a sound, no God, no throne to hold it down. The earth began to read its name in burning letters made of flame. I hear the final bells unwind inside the fracture of mankind. Sky is falling down, no salvation in this crown. Every prayer returns as dust, every kingdom turns to rust. Tiamat, the silence screams aloud, no angels left inside the cloud. We are the ashes, we are the flame. The end has learned to know our name. The towers high to drown the memory of why cities kneel in molten lines while history erases time. No scripture left to open wide, no heaven waiting on the other side. On the echoes of what we made, burning slowly, never saved. There is no mercy left to send, only the shape of what must stand. We are the ashes, we are the flame. twist and burn. No tomorrow, no escape. Only time that breaks its shape. Tiamat, we fade into the sound of everything unholy crowned. And in the end, when all is gone, the silence sings its final song. The sky is gone. The name is gone. Only end. The carries on. Route 22 leaves at 6. Same streets, same corners, same broken shelter by the pharmacy. 3 winners now, still waiting on approval, still waiting on funding, still waiting on somebody with an office downtown. The people waiting for the bus don't know their names. The paperwork keeps moving. The shelter doesn't. A woman gets on every morning. Night shift nurse, always exhausted, always carrying the same blue lunch bag. When it rains, she stands under a newspaper because the roof was never built. I hear officials on the radio talking about progress. I drive past the evidence. The paperwork keeps moving. The shelter doesn't. Committee meeting, budget review, strategic planning, public statement, photo opportunity, follow-up report. Another year, same puddle, same corner, same people getting wet. Ooh. Election season comes around. Fresh signs, fresh slogans, fresh promises. One candidate rode my route for a day. Shook hands, took pictures, asked questions, never saw him again. The shelter still isn't there. The paperwork keeps moving. The shelter doesn't. The speeches change. The shelter doesn't. The faces change. The shelter doesn't. Tomorrow at 6, I'll stop at the same corner. The nurse will be there. The rain might be too. One of them has an excuse, the other doesn't. I kept it buried until it learned my name. Every chain snaps one link at a time. I am the catalyst. No more silence, no more cane. I am the catalyst. Every wound becomes another reason. Every breath ignites the fire. I won't disappear again. Hey. Hey. I carry ghosts that never carry me. I swallow blame that never fit my name. The cracks kept spreading under every promise. The walls kept closing with every excuse. You called it weakness, I called it waiting. Now the weight belongs to someone else. This pulse is louder than your judgment. I'm still standing, you're still looking away. Listen, it was never fear, it was restraint. Bottle, a change of clothes, nobody was prepared. The water never asked what we believed. Ay, 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 ay. What we believed. Ay, 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 ay. The school gym became a shelter. Every corner filled with strangers. A man rolled out prayer mats, 2 rows over. Someone unfolded wooden beads. Near the entrance, an old woman sat quietly, reading from a book with worn out pages. Nobody argued, everyone was busy carrying boxes. The water never asked what we believed. Ay, 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 ay. What we believed. Ay, 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 ay. Sandbags, blankets, baby formula, extension cord, bottled water, phone chargers, dry socks, first aid kits. The flood took inventory. Nobody else did. A teenager spent all night charging phones from a generator. By morning, after building knew his name, nobody knew his religion. Nobody seemed concerned about it. The only question people asked was, have you eaten yet? The water never asked what we believed. The current didn't care. The rain didn't care. The river didn't care. So neither did we. Yeah. dry again. The banners came back, the arguments came back, the labels came back. But for a little while, before the water receded, people remembered what mattered first. Still hanging by the back door. Blue canvas, worn out cuffs, a receipt in the pocket from a hardware store that closed 2 years ago. Nobody moved it, not because we expect him back, because nobody knows when the right time is. The strange thing about death is how ordinary everything looks after. Still grows, the neighbor still waves when he drives past the house. The dog spent 3 weeks waiting beside the window every afternoon at 4. Nobody explained it to him. Nobody could. The strange thing about death is how ordinary everything looks after. We did! Faster than we did! Last Sunday, I found one of his voice messages. Nothing important, just directions to a fishing spot. For a second, he was alive again. Then the recording ended, and the room remembered. The strange thing about death is how ordinary everything looks after. The sun still rises, the traffic still forms, the coffee still gets cold. Only one thing changed. Everything changed. His jacket is still hanging by the back door. Maybe next week I'll move it, maybe not. There's no deadline for learning a world without someone in it.